in addition to Iron Fist, there was Whitewashed Out, there was starring John Cho, like those kinds of Asian American centered hashtags. Can you talk a little bit about, like, as someone who's covering these movements, like, how different is this kind of organizational movement now with the power of Twitter and hashtags versus, like, if we were trying to do something like this 10 years ago?
So I think from a reporter standpoint, I think that having these hashtags have really showed my editors that it's not just a sector of people who are fans of comics on Twitter who are upset. It's like all of Asian America. And so I think that having these hashtags and having Asian Americans be able to rally behind it has really just kind of, it's kind of a huge moment, honestly, because I think up until Whitewashed Out, I had never really seen mainstream journalism or mainstream journalists write at length about these really complex issues like Orientalism, what it means to be an Asian American, always feeling like an outsider. I've never really seen people explore that, just not even on screen, but in the media, like in mainstream media.
Right. I mean, I feel like that's probably, like with Whitewashed Out, just full disclosure, I was also behind the team of folks who came in. I'm your hashtag guru, so you don't care about this guy, you're here for me, right? No, but speaking of this guy over here, Louis, you've talked extensively about your experience auditioning for Iron Fist. You were actually cast on the show. You play, as I mentioned earlier, Zhao Cheng in episode 8 of Iron Fist. You don't have to go into that story about the whole audition process, but I think what I'd like to hear from you is the idea of, because you've talked very passionately about this, being an Asian American hero who knows martial arts. Because I think one of the pushbacks against the Iron Fist hashtag is something we've been talking about earlier today too. Like, why do you want to perpetuate the stereotype, right? Like, you don't want more Asian martial artists in the world, do you? As an Asian American martial artist, like, how do you feel? And someone, a legacy of martial arts in your family. Why is it important to have a character like Iron Fist, not necessarily Iron Fist, but a character like that represent Asian Americans?
Yeah, I think it's a strange argument. Someone brought it up to me a few times, even just recently, and they were saying, well, you're perpetuating a stereotype, casting an Asian in a martial artist role. Martial arts is from our culture. That's our shit. So I don't think that it's perpetuating any stereotype. I think the issue at hand here is full spectrum representation. So what we have here is a very small spectrum that we're being presented by, and I think that it needs to just be a full spectrum. So are there Asian people that are martial artists and ninjas? Yes. Are there Asian people that are nerds? Yes. And that's okay. All that is okay. But we want the entire spectrum. We want to be represented as heroes. We want to be represented as love interests. We want to be represented across the board, the same way the Caucasian actors are represented. So that doesn't bother me at all. You see white actors playing nerds. You see white actors, playing what you would say is a stereotypical role for them. Right. But they also have everything else. Right. So and that's what we don't have. So I think that all these amazing artists here and many more around the world kind of like took a stand, like, look, we're just going to choose this to make an example out of it, whether it's right or wrong for Marvel to steer away from the source material. That's up for argument's sake. Right. But people were like, look, this dude's going to learn martial arts, and it's going to be the same story that we've heard many times. Wouldn't it be cool if it was an Asian American who's not in touch with his roots, who has to go back and learn about his roots, and then, it's just something that we haven't seen before, and a lot of people got behind that idea. And whether or not it's right or wrong, it was very, very inspiring, and it's created just a tidal wave of people standing up for what they want to see and how they want to be represented.
It sounds like Louis has our next hashtag. Hashtag that's our shit.
Trended. Hashtag that's our shit. Also hashtag AACC 2017.
That's real.
I like to piggyback off Lewis's thesis because it's really important. But also, first of all, also very important. Louis Tan is even more handsome in real life. How is that possible? So unfair. But martial arts, at its core, is an art form. Like, we should not degrade it because it's a stereotype. You know, like Bruce Lee's a poet and a philosopher, and it's informed by his martial arts and his training, and it's just part of our, like he said, our culture and identity, and it's not something to be ashamed of. But
Hashtag that's our shit.
yeah, exactly. Take it back. Take it back. Yeah.
Adam, you know, you said that as an actor, you're a New York-based actor. In fact, you give it up for Adam, who flew all the way across the country at the last minute to be here. He was like, nah, dude, I'm based in New York. I was like, oh, that sucks. And then it's like, oh, by the way, I'm buying an airplane ticket and I'm flying out to LA because I need to be part of this. But yeah, as a New York-based actor, of course, Iron Fist filmed in New York. Like, that audition process, I know you sent in your pitch video and everything, but, you know, did that cross your mind that, like, you know, and I'm not exactly aware of your background in martial arts, but, like, did you bump up against potentially, like, you know, because there are a lot of actors who'd say, Asian American actors, like, I don't do martial arts. Like, was that a thought process?
That was me. That was me, actually. And when I became an actor, it's like, I mean, I grew up admiring Bruce Lee. He was an Asian male, that was a guy. But when I became a serious actor, well, started being a little more serious about acting and the realities of the industry, it was sad, but I kind of took the Bruce Lee poster down. I stopped practicing. And I didn't want non-Asians to look at me as a martial arts guy. And so, like, you know, that's when I got into the whole acting studio. I really, really learned the craft. And it was only until your article that it really changed the way I thought about that stereotype. Because what you said was that, okay, yeah, so you have the martial artist, but if you take good care of him as far as showing him as the friend, the lover, the businessman, Danny Rand, this is gold. This is gold. This is like the Batman. This is like, you know, Bruce Wayne. And if it's a shame that Marvel Netflix didn't take this opportunity to make Cassius as an Asian American. Because in my life, I've actually traveled, because I was born and raised here in New York. I'm like 1.5 generation. But I didn't realize how American I was until I went to China. And not just any part of China. I went to my ancestral home. This is the home that my grandparents had left, and it's very poor. It's a very simple life. At the time I was there, I was running out of money, complaining I was running out of money, and then you visit this place where your father was born, and it was shocking. It was a very emotional thing, and I encourage anyone who's 1 or 2nd, 3rd generation to visit the motherland, because it is an experience. And I even went to Tibet. This is where Kunlun would have been, right? It's a magical place. But I mean, I would share these stories because the experience is amazing. There's one thing when you hear it, but to live it, to actually go out there and see these things with your own eyes. And if you did that for film, did that for TV.
Right. Susan, a lot of we talked about the kind of confluence of the different hashtags over the last couple of years, and some of the pushback against Iron Fist was the notion that, you know, that was happening at the same time as, you know, you were saying whitewashed out, like Tilda Swinton, Matt Damon, Emma Stone. We can just keep going, right? All those Asian. And then so one of the arguments against it was like, you know, well, Danny's white in the comics, it's not whitewashing. Why are you guys just read a comic? And it's like, yeah, who are you talking to, right? Like, the nerds of color, we read comics. we wear that proudly. But do you think it was a misnomer to kind of like lump Iron Fist into the whitewashing, or is the semantic argument beside the point?
Well, I think we have to be